Okay, this video is just about this Technics RS1500 two-track machine with optional 4-track replay. When it came, it was calibration was out. There was squeaking and squealing from various parts, and the video would just show and all the pots were noisy and switches were crackling, not working. So the video just shows simply how to just clean these pots and connections, how to get rid of the squeaking in the bearings, how to adjust the brakes on the spools because they were weak, especially this one, and the tape tension on stop was not right, and repair the switches which were broken, these plastic things, and fall off, and generally just a bit of useful information. Rather a noisy rewind. It might be the brake band not releasing. So I have to have a look inside. See what's making all that noise. And it's got a bit of a squeak coming from somewhere. It's either something rubbing or a bearing that's a bit dry. To remove the lower capstan, you have to put I've got these pointed they've got two little indents or recesses that they go in, and then you just twist it and it will come undone. And take the center out, and then you can remove the rest of this capsule. We're going to see why it's squeaking. So that comes out. And then we're going to remove the rest of this. There's an E-clip holding it in there, which you'll need to just going to prise that off. After removing the E-clip, this comes out, but it's very long, and it's got a bearing at the bottom and at the top. The only problem you have, it's got a belt on the bottom, which you're going to have to put back on. Now the problem is getting this in there, and it's got the groove in the bottom for the belt. The belt's down there, so put a piece of paper around the belt, and then I'm going to pull the belt up and then put this down, and with any luck I can just get the belt around the shaft here, and it should stay in the groove. Now I've lowered it down. I've pulled the belt with a piece of paper. It's just pulled it up and eased it round the side. I've managed to put this back in with the belt on the bottom. The belt goes up to the counter, by the way, and if you're not careful it comes off the little pulley on the back of there. But anyway, using a piece of paper to pull it up, managed to drop it down. I put the clip back in. Now the squeaking's gone. It's just it's not squeaking anymore, and you're going to see as you turn this, the counter turns as well. So I've just got to put this special pressure thing in, and put this on, and then lock the top in there. That squeaking, by the way, can also come from this little pulley down here. Although it's a Delrin running on a plain bush, you can just get a little drop of oil and it will run down the shaft just if that's squeaking. To remove the real motor, to have a look at the it and the felt pads, etc. There's 3 screws around the outside, and this is the last one, and the motor comes loose. I'm going to maneuver it out. You can see this is the area where the felt pad runs. And have a look at the pads. Maneuver the rear motor out of the way, and you can see the felt pads here, and you can see that they just seem to rub. They're glazed just on that side, and these, so they're probably not pressing dead straight. You can see how thick they are. They're about, they're glued on the back. They're only about 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeters max. You can get bits of cork, 1.5, 2, which you could glue on there if you're worried about it. They don't seem to have worn. It's just a bit of glaze. Maybe just rough it up a bit, and I think they'll be fine. Carefully clean the surface of the felt with a bit of sandpaper. Just carefully rub off any glaze. And also, while this is out, it's much easier to clean it now with a bit of solvent cleaner. I use this brake cleaner. Make sure that it's not aggressive on this plastic. So be careful with what solvent you use. I mean, I can clean anything else if I wanted to, but it's just a bit of grime on everything, that's all. Just do the other reel table, clean it up, clean the pads. Okay, after cleaning, this spool seemed a little weak, and by feel, these have been one way a bit better than that way, seems, and this one was spinning, but I've adjusted the 2 screws, that one, and by moving this up and down and around, you can get it to feel just the same. It's got more friction that way and it spins that way. It's exactly the same as this one. Stops. Before it was spinning, so I think they'd be fine now. Works very well now, getting no slack on the tape from fast to stop. It's very good. Yeah, it's working fine. The brakes are holding, little felt brakes are holding perfectly now. You can adjust the reel table height if necessary. With these metal spools, I put a proper 1mm rubber spacer behind them, just so that it spools in the middle. Servicing the Technics RS1500. The potentiometers and switches were all crackly and intermittent, so we've got to clean them with some contact cleaner. Luckily, it's pretty service engineer friendly. The switches come off quite easy. They've just held on by some 2mm grubs. The knobs, I mean, and these just pull off from here. But as usual, some of them are broken. They're plastic. They seem to be brittle, and bits broken off of them. Anyway, everything unscrews. The front panel comes off easy, but these things, surrounds, don't come off. They're a captive, so don't try and rip them off. Front panel comes off, the bottom panel just some screws, and inside it's pretty dirty, and there's some bugs in the system. Literally, some like spider thing. There's a thing down there which is we used to call a monkey pea, little multi-leg, tiny little armadillo thing. There was another one just here that's fallen inside. So there it is. Literally a bug in the system. Anyway, I'll brush this out, clean up these pots. All the controls are working good now. Before this was cutting out, especially the line level one. As you turn it up and down, these VU meters will jump all over the place. Now they're fine. Also the output is working fine. Oh no, it's not on at the moment. These switches were playing up badly. They were intermittent. The monitors. Now they're working. To repair all these broken switches, the caps where the sides are split off because of the little metal spring inside, and it's pressing on the outside and eventually breaks the side completely off. Mixed up some milliput black, and it remains quite soft for a while. Use plenty of water, which makes it easy to work and to smooth over, and then leave it until it's. Make sure you clean out the slots with something just in case it fills up. But as soon as this gets fairly firm, I'm going to push them onto the switch, the metal blades, to make sure that they fit on, and then re-smooth the outside. It will set very hard eventually, so if you don't check that fit on the blades, you'll never get them on. So it's just a matter of waiting half an hour or something until it's just about beginning to firm up, and then you can push them on and just finish them off. And hopefully, I mean, some of these had the complete sides completely broken out and they hardly stay on. The putties begin to harden now, not too hard that it can't be still manipulated. So taking these, going to make sure that they will go onto the levers in case there's anything you've got too much on, just so that they don't push them on, and make sure that they fit. You can either leave them on, but I'm going to then pull them off again and just finish off the surface to make them look a bit better when they've hardened some more. I've noticed that the VU meters on this deck aren't quite equal left and right. When recording, if you set them equal on replay, the left seems to be higher. Just checking them with these controls on maximum, so they're not making any effect at all, and then feeding in a signal from a SAP to both channels equally from into the back. You can check. The left one's slightly higher than the right. Now, is it the VU meters that are out, or is it the line amp that is out? If you look at, it goes through a couple of presets. On the line in, it comes through, besides this pot here for adjusting the variable, it's got a preset as well, left and right. If one of them's not set right, the signal may not be getting through, might be lower on one channel than the other. The only way I think I can check that is to put a voltmeter on this side and check that the volt is the same on both channels before it goes up here. And then you've got a pot down here. It goes all the way through around here somewhere. Where's the meter? There. The meter, sorry. The meter actually has a amplifier, adjusts to the meters, the VU meters. You can actually adjust the gain. You don't want to mess with them if the signal going into them is the same, and you're trying to compensate for an error here. And also, when you switch the tape to playback, you've got another preset here to make sure that the VU meters read correctly. On the record side going in. So you can get them really messed up if you start adjusting all the wrong ones. You've got to work logically. You've got to make sure the VU meters are reading dead accurate first. So I think I've got to check that one first. Now to check whether the playback's correct, you need a tape that is really a calibration tape, and left and right channels the same amplitude. You can't actually record one on your deck you're trying to fix because you don't know if it's recording at the right amplitude. So you have to get a tape from another deck you know that's dead accurate. I have got some other decks but I think are accurate. So anyway, there's the VU meters. On here you can adjust the frequencies up and down, 150 hertz right down or even higher, and you can watch the VU meters. They seem to be pretty stable at various frequencies, and you can also change the gain up and down, see what happens. That's a 3 dB switch there. It drop 3 dB about. Anyway, all the pots, where are they? Well, you've also got a circuit diagram which shows some of the pots here. And on the manual you've got the layout for the various boards, and you can find the one, hopefully. There's the mic amp board, you can find the pots there, that's 2 of them, and on the line output, this big main amp circuit board, there's some pots here and here. So you have to find the board inside and make sure you're turning the right ones. Okay, the first thing to do in the calibration is to make sure that the signal coming in here on the left and the right channel is exactly the same amplitude, because that's the variable input control, but there's a preset. So using this app, sending the same signal to left and right channel, which I've plugged in to the underneath, and then here are the 2 adjustable presets, left and right channel, these here, and display them on there. You can see that the red channel, this one, channel 1, which is connected to there, is slightly bigger than the yellow one. So what we're going to do is adjust the yellow one to be exactly the same size. It's slightly offset, but it looks about right. And then we know that the signal now, because I got this on when this is turned fully up, it's like straight through. And now we can check the VU meters up here when I turn it on, and if they're not reading equal, you then adjust the VU meter gain, left or right, so that the signal coming through there is showing exactly on the meter. Then after we've done that, we'll be able to do the playback amp and the record amps levels to make sure that they're the same on both channels. After adjusting the presets to be exactly the same, you've now got the VU meters showing the signal here. You can see that the left is just about on 2 and the right is fractionally down. So all we have to do now is find the pots for those, VL 108 and 208, and we can adjust the VUs to be exactly perfect. To balance the VU meters, you have to adjust either the left or the right. It's on a board behind this board, so you've got to pass the screwdriver all the way through this hole and into the potentiometer way behind. It's not easy to locate it, but I've done it. as you can see, I'm turning it now up and down. So I'll just turn it to be identical with the potentiometer, adjusting it with the screwdriver. I've got them spot on. You can also check the plus minus 3 dB switch here. Cuts it by 3 dBs from 2 to -1. Close enough. Now with the VU meter set properly, we can proceed with running a tape that has got the output the same on the left and the right. That's been pre-recorded, and adjust the playback amps, hopefully using the VU meters. To adjust the playback levels using a pre-recorded tape with the same output on left and right channels, we want to adjust 106 and 206. Looking on this drawing here, we've got 106, 206, which are here. They're marked on playback level, and that's left and right. So let's just play the tape. The right needs to go up a little bit, so playback level. This one. We set it to 0. Checking the preset gain for the record level as a signal going into the record amp. VR104 and 204. On the circuit diagram, it's just here where the signal comes through this amp and goes off up here. So I'm just going to measure the signal about here on the, and adjust, see if these pots need adjusting. The pots, you can find them on the circuit diagram and components. 1 kilohertz going in. I've connected the probes left and right. You've got the pots for adjusting are here and here, record levels left and right. Now the red one is left. Up now. There. That must be right. Well, it wasn't right before. So now we've got the same signal going into the record amp, so I will be able to do a recording and then adjust the playback levels on the playback to the V playback level pots on the VU meters, so we can record at 2 dBs, and then on playback we should get 2 dBs on both. Of course, the heads, you have to make sure the heads are perfectly aligned before you do all this. Well, as far as I can tell, they are, so I'm not adjusting them again at the moment. With a good quality tape, I can set the meter levels on replay. We've got with these switch, you can see it's 2 dB in, 2 dB out. Left hand channel is 2 dB in, is bit down. So you can just adjust the left hand channel gain, playback meter left to read 2. Just check it with the lever, in, out, in, out. You've got your equalizer here, doesn't seem to make much difference on this tape. Tune position 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. And also the bias. As you can see, the gain drops on position 3 on the bias. Position 3, 2, 1, so you get a bit more gain on position 1. So let's pause that. We can try it at a higher speed. Small increase in gain, and then the slow speed, 3 3/4. Oh, close enough. Got it on a high frequency signal, 10 kilohertz. You can adjust the frequency on these two pots here, left channel, right channel. I'll just show you on the left channel here. So I turn it up and down, so you can set that to 2, or near enough 2 for the input, input, output, and I could just adjust the right channel fraction here as well. Near enough there. Anyway, that's calibration. I think that'd be good enough, I think. Just checking the playback on a 4-track tape to make sure it's all working okay, which it is. I did adjust and check the azimuth, tilt and height with these screws on record and playback, and they were still spot on. So I've just got to put the bottom back on and replace the knobs and be finished. Player's all finished now, playing a mono tape, original shadows on the 2-track position, good level, really good sound. All the controls, all the knobs stay on now after I repaired them. Controls work with no crackling now, and the tension remains really good now between winding and playing. So, turn it down a bit. The back's really clean as well. Just a quick check of it playing a 4-track. With the 4-track head selected, and the sound is really good, levels are good. This was recorded on another tape recorder, plenty of level, and the fast wind's all good considering the weight of these reels. It picks up really nicely. And it goes to play.
And that's how it was for the next 10 nights. The flare spurting out from
and the rewind. And the stop. There's no problem now with these tensioners where the reels weren't held properly by the felts. It's all working really well.
At midnight on the 12th of August, a huge mass of luminous gas erupted from Mars and sped towards